Text. Content. Informational, narrative, and graphic text. Summary, paraphrasing, chunking, and vocabulary. Informational text examples are opinion pieces, information paragraphs, and textbooks. Narrative text is newspaper reports, magazine stories, and short fiction. And graphic text is included in both informational and narrative text. It includes maps, brochures, and images. When reading a text, I can use the following strategies to think about or prove the ideas presented. I can use quotations to prove a point, summarize an article, paraphrase an article, or use the chunking strategy. Quotations. Identical to the original passage, word for word, must include the original author at the end of the sentence. For example, recession is a tough time for low-income households. In quotation marks, bracket, Hortense, which is the last name of the author, and 23 is the page number, followed by closing the bracket and the period. Writing the points in your own words, about the same length as the original writing. When you paraphrase, remember these points. Provide a reference, must be in your own words. Also, alter the sentence structure. It can be difficult to find new words for an idea that is stating well. Therefore, try this. In your note-taking stage, when you come across a passage that you can include in your paper, only copy the passage if you plan to quote it. If you think you want to paraphrase the passage, make a note only of the author's basic point. Do not use full sentences. In the notes, you should be translating the language of the original into your own words, capturing the main idea. Include the proper page number and paragraph number of the original so that you can reference it later. When you begin writing your paper, look at your notes, not the original, because you will be more likely to avoid borrowing from the original work. Here are the steps. Convert the ideas from your notes into full sentences. Provide a reference. Go back to the original to check your points are accurate. Chunking. Used when reading a larger text. A reading strategy. Read the article through to the end. Reread the article, chunking or separating 3 or 4 paragraphs together at once. Make some point form notes on each smaller chunk you read. Summarizing. Put into your own words the main idea of a piece of writing. Shorter than the original, must answer the 5 W's, and the H should be a paragraph length. Strategies for summarizing. Trying to summarize a text can increase your understanding of it. Here's a process you can follow as you create a summary of a text. First, the selection. Reread all of the selection. Make sure you understand it. If you're confused, discuss the selection with another classmate or your teacher. Paragraphs or sections. Focus on one paragraph or section of a text at a time. You may need to break up the text into meaningful chunks. Chunking. Sections of the text that seem to be about the same thing. Making notes. Create notes that includes the most important information from the text. It may include point form, split page form, or mapping as we have reviewed before. The main idea or ideas. Think about the main idea of each section of the text. It may help to highlight or underline the main idea. Summarize using your own words. Record the main idea in your own words. Here's a more visual representation of summarizing a text. Selection. Reread the selection, make sure to understand it. Paragraphs. Focus on one paragraph or selection at a time. May need to break up the information into chunks. Making notes. Writing down the most important notes. Point form, split page form, or mapping. The main idea of each section. And finally, the summary. Record the main ideas in your own words. Vocabulary. When I'm reading a text and come across a word that is unfamiliar, I should read the sentences surrounding sentences to get the idea of what the word could be. Use a dictionary to find the meaning or translation. Create an example by using the word. and make sure to include the new word into your vocabulary wonder list.